Hello everybody and welcome back to LMM, and as you can see I'm sat within the confines of the shed, which must mean that it's time for What's Broken Now. So some of you will be thinking, I know you're definitely sat in the shed, but I'm not entirely sure where you are because I've not seen this torture device that's erected behind me. Well, this is in fact our workshop, which was previously known as the Den. The Den is now long gone because we needed the space to expand. And this remodelling and reorganisation has been a project that we started in January. I said to Matt, I've got a good idea, let's move some of the stuff around and make a bit more space. Do a big sort out through our tools and equipment on the shelves. It'll only take a weekend. Now, this may not look like much, but this has taken me the best part of my day. Mostly because Matt looked at how I had it before and decided he hated it. And so I've redone it. So over here, this is all Imperial nonsense, which is going to go on its own board, hidden away, because realistically it's going to be needed for the tractors, for Redacted, and for Redacted. So that's fine. Here is the kind of accessible board. So I've got ratchets, random tools that we may need, lights, funnels, that kind of stuff. That will make sense. And then tools over there. We have the hitty tools, the movie tools, grabby tools, screwdrivers, things are going to be on blocks, so they're all going vertically, rubby tools and sensible spanners. And over there I've started putting in the boards, the beam there and there, so this one will sit on it. Oh, and I've hung the visors up. Well, that is basically all I've done today. I was very, very much mistaken. However, we have gone through all of our tools now. We've worked out exactly what we've got. We've catalogued it. It all fits onto this magical board, which is now in its 4th or 5th redesign. I kept putting it together and Matt would go, no, that doesn't make sense. So it's now how it should be. We've got it up on the wall. And you may have also noticed here, there are lights. Well, this is the culmination of a project that we started 2 years ago.
So, a lot of you might remember, I say a lot of you, this was about 2 years ago. We actually started doing a lighting upgrade on the shed, and in typical LMM fashion, we finished about 90% of it. So, 2 years on, I'm finishing the rest, because we haven't actually done this workshop area around the ramp. So, the plan is now to get a bunch of LEDs along there, some LEDs along the back, and then all this area will be nice and lit, and I can cross off a project I started 2 years ago. So, I'm actually doing this slightly different to last time, mostly because actually, when we look at all of the other lighting around here, it's all got these lovely little boxes on it, and they all connect in there. Because of the way we're doing it here, and not all the lights are together on the same pillar, we've basically just got lots and lots and lots of mini spurs where just the light is coming off the main line, which is not really how you should do it, but these are very, very low power draw items, and they're on proper thick twin and earth cable, so there's no risk there at all. It's just not quite correct. This is actually the last light I'm fitting now, and then once these are all tested, I'll turn the mains off. We'll plug all this into the mains in the lighting loop we've left. Then we'll test it on the ground, and if it's all good on the ground, we'll stick it up, and then we'll actually be lit. And I'll actually have accomplished something in one day. It hasn't taken me a billion years to do it.
Some people would use a drill. I'm just using it.
Yeah, there's a reason I got used to this. Some will call it the grunt work, I suppose. Why are you putting that in before the light's on there?
Because I'm making a small hole.
Oh, to then go through.
Both heat and the thing.
A pilot hole?
Yes. What you witness, ladies and gentlemen, is intelligence from Lawrie. Let me honest.
You don't like heights, do you?
I really don't like heights. They are amongst the top of my fears, including not having breakfast.
I mean, that's considerably worse.
Just to explain the poor quality of the image at the moment, what we've done is disconnected our electricity so Matt can splice into the power, which means that it's dark.
Yes, very dark. And then we're just going to hope it works. Did I actually strip these? No, I didn't. Balls.
Shall I fund the stripper, shall I?
Yeah, they should just be down by the board you were working on. Right, you ready to test?
Yep. Oh, look at that.
I mean, we still need to get the long ones up, but...
Yeah. And this wire that's doing the dangly here.
Yeah, there's a lot of work still to do. However, I can kind of call the lighting job, instead of 90% complete, it's now 99% complete.
We've been wanting these lights up. Oh, I cannot get over just
It's
how...
It's incredible the amount of light we have here now.
And we haven't even rigged those properly. That's diffused bounce lighting rather than...
Yeah.
We can actually use this as the workshop. Oh,
I
this
know.
is glorious.
We can see things, like that thing you're not allowed to see, and that thing you're not allowed to see.
I am being very careful with my framing. But that thing there works and we can drive it away, and that one may or may not function.
Yeah, but you can just push it out of the way, because it weighs like 80 kilos. That's a hint for everyone.
Good job. Good job.
Light.
Right, home. So the good news is that today, on this groundbreaking episode, we see the culmination of a project that we started 6 months ago and one we started 2 years ago. We finally got the lights up inside this area, so we've got lights to work with and a place where we can hang our tools so we know where everything is. Because our previous system was just a toolbox, and so at the end of the day, you've got no idea if the tools have actually made themselves back into it or if they're still installed inside the digger. Or when we went on our Scotland trip, when the 106 broke down, I opened the bonnet to find several tools inside the air vent there that we just left and forgot to put away. That's the kind of stuff we do. So at least now we'll be like, well, where's the spanner gone? It's clearly not there. So we may be a little bit more efficient. Maybe. So the one job left to do, which you've probably guessed now, is to take the piles of tools which are now scattered around Matt and the camera and put them back where they go on the board. And then if we can be bothered, draw around them. There is one major problem with this, and that's they were last on the board about a month ago. I mean, your guess is as good as mine at this point. No idea. Absolutely. So that'll be fun, but that will be probably the next episode of What's Broken Now as I attempt to decorate our tool wall. So on the subject of vehicles and getting on, well, as we were moving stuff around, it was meant we're going to have to move some vehicles around, which meant I got Atlas out to see if that was going to be able to do anything, and it didn't, because the brakes were sticking on. So I've now refilled the battery, all the batteries that were leaking, with acid again, but it still wouldn't work. Made a bit more of a inclination to move. So I've just taken off one wheel and readjusted the brakes, and it goes a lot better. So I'm just about to do this one because they are very tight on there. So take this wheel off and hopefully we'll be in business. Now, when I took this apart the first time and put it back together again, I forgot to play with this. This here is an adapter, so if I twist it like that, you'll notice the brake shoe moves in. If I do it like that, brake shoe moves out. So this is a little piece. There we go. Maximum, minimum. If we set it to the minimum setting, like so, that should be fine because there's plenty of meat on these. So this should now function as it should. Of course means putting this back on, but it should now just fit on without any issues. It's very shiny in there, which means it has definitely been rubbing. These wheels are heavy, man. That turns quite happily now. So just put one of these on to hold it in place. Foot on brake, wheel doesn't move. And there, we might have sorted the issue with Atlas. And so, moment of truth, has it made any conceivable difference? Power on, forward gear. There we go. It is at least mobile again. Doesn't sound happy, but I think that's just that my batteries are pretty life expired. My experience with dealing with the drum brakes on the Reliant has taught me that I'd set these up entirely wrong, and I'd put them on maximum extension. So now they're back to normal settings and not permanently on, the thing drives a lot better. And moving on to the other small and useful vehicle, Humpty. Our landlord had a couple of jobs that they wanted done, and Humpty proved to be the perfect vehicle. So me and Matt took it out and did a day's work.
Normal wheelbarrow, motorised wheelbarrow. With your little 15 CWT dumper truck, it's important to make sure that they're free range and they're allowed to go out off the leash and just enjoy themselves in the openness of day. Because sometimes, you know, it's wrong to have them on a lead.
This means that Humpty is by far my best ever purchase. Not only does it still function several years after I bought it, it actually earns its keep, and nothing else in my collection currently does that. And the fact that it cost next to nothing. Speaking of vehicles that have cost me basically no money, my new Lotus Elite. Now, as much as I'd like to have two Lotuses, I have neither the time, the money or the space, which meant that I had to start working on combining the two into the one that I want to keep, which would be my Excel chassis under the orange body and the new blue unmolested shell. So the first thing we had to do was to lift the first car off its frame. And this proved to be a bit more challenging than we first expected.
I wouldn't normally turn it off at this point, but if I don't, we will just gas ourselves and die in here.
Didn't you buy a vehicle for this express purpose?
I did, yes. Now, there are two conflicting schools of thought of why we're not using that. My thought is that we've now locked it in by moving other things around. The other thought is nobody thinks it's actually man enough for the job, and I don't want to be proved wrong. This smells.
The interior is not pleasant.
Yes. Less than pleasant. I'm going to do this with a ratchet strap. I'm just going to tie it.
First time, right?
The logical thing to do now is to say, well, what do I have with my Lotus? What I have with this Lotus is non-functioning door locks. I do, however, have a sunroof which is conveniently missing the glass, so I have nothing else I can get in this way, which is full of kind of stuff that looks a bit... Oh, jeez. Oh, that is rancid. Oh, God. Oh.
The good news, of course, is that this door does indeed open, mostly because it refuses to lock because the latch is missing. So that's a good and positive start. Looking in here, well, I've got a selection of the upholstery. Some of it is still attached. The anti-rollover loop in it, the roll cage, whatever, that's rusty. So I've bought a fiberglass car, which is indeed rusty. It's got a bit of a wiring loop, which is positive, and it reeks in here. The first thing that I have noticed about this car is that there is a lot of poo in it. And it's a little, I'm going the wrong, this is not the right colour. It's amazingly 70s though. I mean, that's, yeah. Oh, this appears to be covered in sawdust. So that's awful as well. Oh, that brim. Oh. I don't even know. I don't think I want to know. I genuinely think it's worse now I've got the stuff out of it. This is very much a car that has lived in a field for time. I don't know. Ash pot. Don't know. And many years of creatures living inside it. Somewhere I knew I had this hidden on the fire engine. And this, as it says here, is an emergency air saw, and it's designed to run off the air system on the fire engine. Today we're not going to do that, but we do have a compressor. And I have a fitting here which should fit our compressor. And I think this works. And so we're actually going to use this for what it's meant for. Cutting open a car. Now I found this. Oh wow, he's actually cutting.
I expected that to be a lot more aggressive than it was.
Yeah, that's cut through one, but I don't think it's quite... Oh, maybe it is. I achieved something!
Yes, you broke your nice new shell.
What's really interesting though, is that I've cut through it, but it's still in situ, but that was enough to release the door. Maybe it just needs to be vibrated off. We got a WD spray can because we thought it was more cost effective to buy a lot of it and you put it into the little spray. It is useless, it deposits more of it onto my hand than it does onto what I'm spraying. Apart from that, WD is great, please sponsor us. So, we are doing something that is all very familiar, and for long time viewers of the channel who remember when we actually started work on the Lotus, you'll remember that we really struggled to take the door off. You may be going, well, why are you taking the door off if you're trying to lift the body? Well, that's because this thing here has the same gravitational mass as the sun. They are extraordinarily heavy because there is a piece of solid metal that runs all the way through the door. That is your crash protection, and that actually gives the car rigidity when it's together, and everything on the door is bolted onto that. It means, however, that it's very heavy, and then it's bolted from here, here, and sandwiched to this plate here. Taking it off is a pain in the backside. But we feel, with 3 people that are in the shed, if we lift this off and the other side, we may be able to, with our bare muscles, be able to pick this shell up. Encourage it to come. Yes, like that. Yeah, that's it.
Can we? No.
Is it past it now?
Yes, it's past.
Okay, right.
So
So
just
wiggle. That's it.
I got it.
We only did mild damage today.
Oh, I'm attached. Why am I attached?
Okay, so I've got it.
Oh, just move out of the way. We'll put it down.
Yeah, no, just put it down on me.
It's very heavy.
I mean, mildly lost circulation to my legs.
Oh, sorry.
It's alright. No, put it back down.
It's alright. I'm off you now.
That was far easier. And we only mildly damaged the fiberglass there.
Did we?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Oh yeah, you won't notice that. That's probably there before.
Oh.
What's he got on?
Just
Pretty cool.
yeah, it's just neat wiggling, doesn't it? Oh, we did it without scratching it this time.
I think lift and shut for you.
Yeah.
Lift. Oh yeah, gonna go. Oh, brilliant. Oh, we need to pull
you didn't actually thread the wires through.
Apparently not.
Ah, Lawrie. Why did you do this to me? Oh, they don't want the thread through.
They'll disconnect it, I can tell you that much.
Disconnect them properly in a minute with a pair of wire cutters. I'll just caught one somewhere back there.
Should I just use Lawrie strength?
No. Pass it to me.
Yep. Yep.
I'll just cut off my circulation while you just get the wires out. There we go. Sorry, Spring. You got it?
Yep. Right, ready?
Yep. Right, this is not a very good idea, just FYI, but this is the only way we see this happening with only 3 of us.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. You need this more, Matt.
I missed it higher than you.
Right, ready? Right, hold on.
It's sort of on, but that one. Can I?
That's not on, it needs...
Yeah, but I currently have no force on, so I can reposition.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I've gone a bit lower. I'm going to front of the wheel arch. Can I go 1, 2, 3, like that? Perfect. That's what we wanted.
Okay.
Good. Down.
I mean, I heard Lotus were making an SUV, but I didn't realise it looked like this.
What it looks like right now, it looks like it's accelerating really fast.
So it looks like it's like hydraulics.
Oh yeah, it's gas, isn't it?
Because this is the hard part done. Now we need to find another piece of wood and do the same for rear.
Yep.
And then we just put some really long bolts and some spacers in and it's done.
By the way, this is 100% the official Lotus way of doing it. No other way of doing it. Nope.
You know what? I bet you this is how they're assembled in the factory.
Oh, probably, yeah. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
I've got one to go higher.
Right.
I can't.
Hold on. I can't. I can do
I'm half under, by the way.
Right. Reposition. 1, 2, 3, up.
Okay.
What was that noise?
I don't know. We'll worry about it at the moment.
Down.
I'm down.
I'm off.
Yes.
Oh, how's that?
Yeah.
That's fine.
That's good.
That's fine. That's cool. That's all right.
That is cool.
It is. Yeah. It is entirely off the chassis. Well, kind of. It's.
We'll do a walk around and make sure, but. Oh, it's actually got like a forward brake on it.
Yeah.
Like, look at it from this angle.
I think we've made a mudder. Or I don't know what we've made. It needs some monster tyres.
It does.
Oh, it's a drag car. We made a drag car.
It's like something out of Mad Max.
Yeah, that 100% is a Mad Max car, and I love it, and I want to make mine like that.
When we'd talked about this and seen it before, we'd seen these chassis lifted in the air, and we thought, how hard could it be? It's only fiberglass, and fiberglass isn't that heavy, especially not when compared to a metal car. Turns out fiberglass is actually quite weighty, especially with the reinforced doors and glass in it. And our simple plan of just lifting it up became slightly more involved and certainly a lot more sketchy. This is possibly the most sketchy thing we have taken part of in the shed so far, and we are not proud of ourselves. And if we had our time again doing this, we would not do it this way. I can only tell you guys, please do not attempt to do this kind of thing because this was bad.
need a repack.
Yes, it will. Only one, but it will need one. Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Ready, Commander?
Yeah.
Right.
Still need to get way more.
Yeah, just looking at how much it's tilting. Go.
It's because there's more weight over the rear than there is the front.
Go.
So I can feel it in where I am now.
Go. That's a point.
What?
I wonder where the balance is, because we are probably not at the pivot point there.
That is why I am currently putting my hand on the front so I can feel it.
Okay.
The balance point I would suggest is about where your arse sits.
My arse is this side, so. Right. Ready?
Yeah. I don't know why, but we started rolling that, and I was literally right. We need to slow down and turn this slightly. There you go. I was literally expecting the body to start moving as well.
Right, is that okay to clear your side, mate? Because that looks very close.
It's coming clear at the minute.
I meant for Loz. Scrape it, but that'll go through. That's on.
Yeah. That's out.
Oh, hold on. He's going.
Oh, we pulled up the carpet.
Oh, we've got a tow hook.
It does. Wow.
Oh look, I can pick the car up! Now, as you may be able to see, we've made some improvement on the fact that I can do this and it's okay. Underneath this, it is supported by the modern marvel of pallets. Yep, that's right, 4 pallets underneath that, which has brought the ride height up to about level with your normal SUV, which is absolutely heartbreaking when you think about it. So, this is here, pallet truck underneath it. Between us, we managed to roll it back to where it has been sitting for the last 6 months. Nothing's really happened. All we need to do now is do the same for this one. However, there are some more issues with this one. Notably, it has an engine, which means we need to leave there. Which means we need to lift the body significantly higher to clear it. And everything is still wired up, including the brakes, which for some reason run on the body and not the chassis. Because why? Everything else, oh, and the fact that this one, you notice if we lift it like this, it all moves. This one, if I lift it like this, it's just this bit moves. So that's brilliant. And, oh, and this one wasn't bolted to the chassis at all, it turns out. This one, we rather assume has been bolted to the chassis, considering I have driven it about on the road. So yes, we'll need to work out where they are. So pull this out onto the ramps and begin disassembly. I mean, how hard could it be?
And that's where we are with the Lawrie. Progress is being made. So actually, in this episode of What's Broken Now, we've made the most progress I think we have for many months, and I'm feeling rather scared about that because we don't normally make this kind of progress. So thanks for watching. Let us know what you'd like to see us work on, what you're happy with, and of course words of encouragement and that stuff, and tell me how much you like my torture device. So thanks for watching, guys. If you have enjoyed this one, coming up on the screen now are a couple of the other episodes of What's Broken Now, which will fill in the gaps of this one. So see you later, and thanks for watching. Also, saws do not make good seats.